Okay, so this is the last talk where we're going to address the cross-curricular scope and building the biblical foundations. It's my favorite. It's building the awe factor. We've talked about redefining education. We're seeking the glory of God so that our students would understand it, they'd be able to apply it, they'd have the purpose to live for His glory, by His glory, among creation, taking His glory to the ends of the world. And so I just want to set this filter framework in each of our teachers, writers, as you go. You've got to be walking with God day to day in all of His amazingness. You've got to be. If you're not, take a day off, get with Him, and then write again. That is crucial. That is pivotal. Okay, so Romans 1, he just says we can clearly know. He's made it clearly known. It is evident His divine attributes, His eternal power. Like God is making it clear, and He gives us the capacity to see it and to know it. The knowability of God just is amazing to me. I mean, we can see His design, we can see His order, we can see His greatness, we can see His purpose. We can know it. Like, we as humans, we're different. We just talked about it with the pantheistic worldview. We are different from animals. We can know Him. And so as we see Him as creation, we're getting to know some of His glory. So walk in awe. Walk in awe with God. We're on a treasure hunt. I shared a couple quotes in the PowerPoints of just these different authors and philosophers just saying, what is that we can know God, that His creation is language to us, right? Psalms 19, that the heavens pour forth language of the Almighty. We want to hear it. Lord, give us eyes to see, ears to hear, and to walk in awe with God. So I want you to see yourselves as you're on a treasure hunt, and that we would know God, and that's what Jeremiah 9 says. That's what we would boast in. We don't boast in great things, great achievements. We boast that we know God. And so be on a treasure hunt. Just some examples where creation absolutely awes, and you can find a million of these, but this is just to whet your appetite. You know about the monarch butterfly, this, I think, wimpy little insect that can fly thousands of miles to specific trees back in Mexico across its migrations. You know about the salmon, after the salmon run, they spawn. Then when the little cute baby salmon are born, they take off, oftentimes out into the wide ocean sea in the Pacific Ocean. And yet when it's spawning time, they come back to the exact same place where they were spawned. How? You know, I live in Charleston, same thing with loggerhead turtles. They just waddle out to the sea, and then when they come back one day to lay eggs, they come back to the same place. Like, what is that? That blows my mind. You know what blows my mind is the swift. I've heard the bird's name. I kind of recognize it. Just the common swift. They, after being born, and once they take flight, they might not land for 2, 3, 4 years. 2, 3, 4 years of constant flight. The bar-tailed godwit, okay? This bird flies from Alaska to New Zealand nonstop. Now, a couple of them will take a little break in Japan or Korea, but the rest nonstop, over 7,000 miles, 7 days, 7 nights, pure flight. Their fuel efficiency, if it was a plane, is more than 720,000 miles per gallon. That's pretty good fuel efficiency. Hummingbirds. If a human was a hummingbird, right? Let's say a 170-pound man, myself, I would have to eat 285 pounds of food a day, and I would have to sweat 100 pounds of sweat every hour to keep my body from the boiling point. And that's how hummingbirds live nonstop. The rhinoceros beetle, I think they're cool. they can support 850 times their own weight. And you got the star Castor. Castor, it's one of the brightest stars in the sky. It's not a star. 6 stars. This is what blows my mind, is these 6 stars are in each other's orbits, and they orbit around each other. It's still not clear which orbits are on whose sphere. They orbit around each other. We've got every night a dazzling, twinkling waltz going on. These stars just dancing around each other. You start talking galaxy. If we got in a 737, Boeing 737, we take off and fly around the galaxy going 500 miles per hour. You know how long it will take to do the circumference of our galaxy? 100 billion years. Do you know how long it would take just to count to 100 billion? Every second being one number, 1, 2, 3, 4. You know how long that would take? It'd take 3,192 years. It's huge. It's absolutely huge. Here's a demonstration of a mathematician would do this, where let's put on the floor using salt a illustration of the whirlpool galaxy. So we put the spirals out together. You'd have to get 10,000 boxes of salt to accurately represent all the stars in Andromeda galaxy. They talk about, a lot of astrophysicists are able to say the Big Bang Theory at the origin. They want to say creation came out of nothing. We talked about that, but they're not willing to take that step because that's creation. But all existence was smaller than a proton, and it just explodes. And all these stars exploding into existence. And this is what's really interesting. We can measure now, to certain degrees, the impact around a star when it is birthed. And they say it represents what we know about sonic booms, but on the astronomical level. Psalm says God speaks the stars into existence. That's a serious boom to the voice of God. I think that's awesome. And so you see God's wonders, and you learn the constancy in them, and then we're enabled and equipped to subdue the earth. When I look back, especially over mathematicians in history and the feats they were able to do and what it led to in progress and advancement, it's mind-blowing. This guy Eratosthenes, ancient Greece, he basically was able to the 100th value, calculate the circumference of the earth. And he did it by using geometric equations and the sun's reflection and a well in the middle of the day, and he calculated the circumference of the earth. Many years later, you get Kepler, still very rudimentary telescopes at this point, but developing mathematical theories based off constants. He's able to calculate the orbits of planets and define the planetary laws of motion, to where he even sees when the velocity increases and what that velocity is when the planets are closest to the sun and when they're farthest from the sun. And then years later you get Newton with the 3 laws of motion, and those 3 laws are so crucial to science nowadays that those are the foundation to space exploration. It's ridiculous how using the knowledge of God to subdue the earth, it's just mind-blowing. And now you have the Human Genome Project that Francis Collins is heading up, and to be able to go into infinitesimal and see how God has perfectly mapped our lives, our anatomical structure. It's absolutely mind-blowing. God has made us to get to know His mind, to use His knowledge then to subdue the earth, that we would, by His glory, through His glory, for His glory, live in powerful ways. That's exciting.